Welcome in lunch breakers to a lunch break gaming review. I wanted to start off these reviews with one of my favorite games in a review that has long since been overdue. Those of you who have been to a few streams probably already know what game we've chosen. Now, let's take it back to the beginning. So, I first remember seeing gameplay of this a couple of years ago. I was immediately intrigued. I watched a fellow gamer and his friends creep through a spooky hedge maze while being both terrorized and tantalized by an ominous, elusive figure. Then, months later, after it faded from my memory, it came back to those familiar glow sticks in the hands of a friend on Twitch, and the intrigue of the game came flooding back. Now though, we're in a pitch dark, claustrophobic crypt filled with terrifying monsters and the devious shenanigans of a few maze runners. One fateful impulse buy and a couple of years later, and this has swiftly become one of my favorite games. Beyond that, it's become a staple of our community. That's why, for our first lunch break gaming review, we're getting lost in Labyrinthine. So, odds are you've experienced mazes over the years. Maybe you read some mythology of a minotaur in a maze. Now, instead of crayons on the back of a kid's menu or a mythological tale, you can inhabit this maze. Sure, you could have ventured through a corn maze, and you could do that in this game too, but this isn't your typical corn maze. It's taken to a whole other level because that mythological minotaur, well, it's now a bloodthirsty pigman, and it's out to make sure that you never escape. You intrigued? Well, of course you are. So when you decide to play, what could you expect? Well, the basics. Everyone starts with, well, just that, the basics. It's dark and twisty, so you have a flashlight and a lantern in one hand, and glow sticks and a compass in the other, and maybe a friend or three in tow to help you explore. And spoiler alert, you use the glow sticks to mark your path like a modern day Hansel and Gretel. But don't worry, the monsters won't eat your glow sticks. Explore the maze, evade the monsters, seek shelter in the safe rooms, and watch out for the dead ends. They might just live up to their name. There are many different types of monsters to evade, each with its own quirks, abilities, exploits. Once you meet them, let me know what nicknames they earn from you. A few that I've heard or coined include Salad Fingers, Wheezy, Tall, Dark, and Horny, and Kyle. Every crew of maze runners has their own lingo and their own maze-solving methods. Do you split up the gang like Scooby-Doo, run off in random directions, and hope for the best? Well, to each their own. You can make this game as easy or as difficult as you like with your own methodologies and preferences. By default, you have multiple revives in any of the game modes, and in some of the modes, you can set yourself up with infinite lives. If you're unsure about your skills or you want a less thrilling experience, there are multiple modes, story cases, custom cases, to put your maze running capabilities to the test. In story mode, you're provided with a tutorial, a bit of world building for the peculiar scenario that you find yourself. So suspend your disbelief and come to meet a sampling of the terrors that are out to put an end to your story. You could, and I wager most people do, just jump straight into the cases and tackle one-off labyrinthine mazes of varying size and difficulty. You also have one more option. You can build your own custom case, but this option, it's limited by your own progress, so maybe just put a pin in that one. I've sunk countless hours into the game and still only unlocked half the maps and monsters, which leads us to the hook of the gameplay. The cosmetics, or cosies if you like. As with most games these days, you can customize your character or change your outfit, but unlike most other games, you don't buy the skins. No, in this game you have to find them and survive to unlock them. I believe there's always a chance to find a cosmetic, but I know that you're guaranteed to find one on a rare or hardcore case. These are special seals that may be applied to cases, and they're critical for those like me who are seeking the thrill of the hunt while experiencing the thrill of being hunted. A case with the blue wax seal is rare and will guarantee you a cosmetic. The cases are not much different than standard, other than the guaranteed cosmetic and the XP and ticket boost. A case with a black wax seal embossed in a red pentagram that allows you 1 life and disappears after you play it, win or lose. That's metal. That's hardcore. Survive hardcore and you get a big XP and ticket boost, and that cosmetic that hopefully you found. Do it. Be beautiful. Get your glasses on. Oh, you guys want a hardcore map? Just kidding. We're not doing that. I've mentioned XP and tickets a couple of times, and these have a supplemental impact overall in the game. XP is more for clout and unlocking certain cosmetics. The tickets though, the tickets allow you to purchase items that can help you navigate the maze, or you can buy reroll tokens to roll the dice and generate a new case in place of one that you dread playing. And so since this is a game review, I feel like we should talk about technical things, graphics, sound engineering, but I'm not an expert on any of those things. So I don't know that I could be objective on that one, but subjective I can do. In my opinion, there's nothing that was left so unpolished that it stands out as a graphical or audio issue, at least at this point, but the game's been out for several years and it's been regularly updated. You get the occasional branch sticking through a wall, maybe you get too close to a well-lit texture, and your immersion is briefly cut, but it won't last long. It's minor, most folks probably not going to pay attention to it, and it's not going to register. When the graphics are set as intended, and it's dark and spooky, it's perfect for terrifying the player. In these dark labyrinths, you'll take cues from the audio. Of course, there's ambient sound to build that immersion, but the audio will morph and the music will start to build. Once that music is pounding in your ears, then you'll hear it. Whatever monstrous shriek or roar that accompanies your tormentor. Once you hear that, you better be running and you better not stop until you hear peaceful music and you can seek safety in that room with a music box, a safe room. It can be like a roller coaster of audio in this game, and I'm here for it. In my opinion, this game nails the atmosphere of a horror game. So, do we like it? Love it? Had enough of it? I personally love this game, as do several of the lunch breakers, and we're bringing more folks into the fold every chance that we get. So why do we love this game, you might ask? Well, it's simple. It's an easily accessible online multiplayer game, and it's a blast to play with your friends, or even randos. We've done that a few times. It receives regular updates and events from the developer. So nearly every holiday, they have a special themed cosmetic for you to discover. Well, several of them actually. Past updates included new maps, new monsters. So with such an engaged developer, there's nothing to say that the game won't continue to grow, possibly even receive DLC in the future. And that's the hook that keeps us coming back. FOMO, you're missing out. Plus, on the multiplayer front, it doesn't seem to suffer from the latency issues that you might find in some of the other games. So, all right, multiplayer doesn't appeal to everyone. So take it solo if you want. You're feeling brave, want an extra thrill. It's nice to have someone there to pick you back up, but having no one to rely on really ups the fear factor and the challenge. We talked about prior updates. There's currently a solid selection of maps and several monsters to encounter, but what makes it even better is the randomization. Some maps might feel similar, likely because they're a variant of one another, but since they're randomly generated, the layouts are always fresh. You'll encounter certain monsters more than others, and certain monsters are exclusive to particular maps, but unless you're making a custom case, then you may be the architect of your own demise. Not to mention, it's a relatively cheap addition to your library. Also, did I mention that there's also a VR option? No. Well, that's because I don't have VR yet. Still, if you really want an extra thrill, there you go. So, for all the love, what's not to like? The jump scare ghost in the hedges for one. I'm just kidding. We like Clarice. But seriously though, even with the events, the updates, randomization to keep things fresh, you can still feel like you're on repeat. So if you have 3 or more cases that are the same, most of the monsters can kind of feel repetitive, but this could be due to my playstyle. And by chasing seals and cosmetics, I don't vary the maps as widely as I would normally. Every game has a gameplay loop, and that's how it holds a person's attention and varies between all of us. The silver lining, you can always put the game down, come back to it again later, get a fresher experience. And I mean, is that all? And yeah, it pretty much is. It's other than your personal preferences, of course. So if you hate mazes, hate monsters, hate horror games, this is not the game for you. Now here's the key question. How much time do you got? This game is practically built for lunch break gaming or completely consuming your productivity. So it's possible to finish a case or a story chapter in under 5 minutes. Easily can do that. For me, those moments are few and far between. So I suppose your average gamer, you could finish 2 to 4 cases per hour depending on the size, difficulty, and your luck. Just proceed with caution if time is limited, because starting a case with 15 minutes to spare can be risky. Starting a large or very large case is all but a guarantee that you will not be meeting that next deadline. Lunch breakers beware. If you suffer from just one more game, then this might not be your lunch break game of choice. Many long lunches were enjoyed at the pleasure of this game and the expense of some productivity, not to mention the countless hours of sleep that were lost after those after dark gaming sessions. So with all that in mind, I recommend this game for your lunch break session or a good late night session with the lights down low. Assuming that you like horror games, monsters, mazes, when you do play, let me know what color glow sticks that you choose. Every person and every crew has a different color code. Is your path green? Is it blue? Do you mark safe houses and dead ends with a special color? If you don't, then maybe you're the monster. Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, leave a like, subscribe if you want more, and follow me on Twitch to see what we're playing next. Enjoy your next gaming session, lunch breakers. Until next time, give me a break.